Hey everybody, Scarpad from Scarpad's Comic Treks. Well, just got done watching episode 2 of Vagrant Queen, the adaptation of the comic book. I believe it's from Image. I believe. If you remember my last review, I said I was kind of mixed on the show. Really smacks of kind of cheapy Canadian. I would say I guess my initial impression hasn't changed a lot. I think episode 2 is a little bit better. In setting up the characters. Although when we open with episode 2, basically the ship lands on a planet looking for supplies, and they come upon a group of cannibal type ape things. Not the best special effects, but passable, I guess. Even the spaceship scenes in the show are, I think, they're meant to be kind of ultra cheesy, in a Barbarella sort of way, if you remember, you know what I mean. If you remember a lot of those cheesy Italian space movies in the 60s, kind of reminds me of that. But the crew, such as it is now, made up of Alita. I can't believe they named her that after Alita, the Alita movie, but Alita is her name. She's actually Queen. Isaac, who's her friend, kind of a rogue, comedic comedy relief. And the engineer, who I believe her name is May, I believe it is. But they crash on a planet. They land on a planet, and Alita and Isaac go out looking to strip some fuel from some junk spaceships on the planet. When Isaac gets captured, and then eventually Alita does too, and they get taken back to this compound where these people are ransoming off these people they captured, and it's kind of a trope of some of these sci-fi shows now where you get the flashbacks of going back. They intersperse the new what's happening now stuff with stuff that's happened in the past, like 2 years ago, basically setting up some character moments so we learn how Alita and Isaac have met. Meanwhile, we also go back to the Republics. It's almost like every bad group in these sci-fi shows are called the Republic, uh, echoing Star Wars kind of. We go back and we see the bad guy there, and that rabbit guy that got injured in the last episode. The show is very comedic, and I never read the original comic book, so I don't know how true it is to that, and maybe I will pick it up so I can read it. But this is very tongue in cheek. It's not playing it straight. It does have some over the top violence, though. I mean, what happens eventually to that rabbit guy is pretty graphic, as is a lot of the fight scenes. So interspersed with a lot of this comedic overtones is some really, graphic, violent fights and deaths. So it's kind of tonally kind of nuts. But I think the show's got me interested enough to maybe watch another episode of it. It's forgettable. It's light. It kind of reminds me of what Z Nation was in the beginning. It's watchable. It's entertaining to a certain degree, but it certainly doesn't do much for serious science fiction. Of course, people probably say, "Well, how do you like it compared to Picard?" Well, almost anything's better than Picard. This show, this show is at least semi-original, so its flaws aren't as magnified as something like Picard, which had 50 years of Star Trek stuff to fall back on. So, I'll probably watch another episode of it, give it a chance. It's kind of cheesy and it's pretty formulaic, but there's worse ways to kill time. And now with everything that's going on in Hollywood where everything is shut down, we're going to have less and less stuff, new stuff around, and we're going to have a lot of reruns. So why not give it a shot? It's on the Sci-Fi Channel. I believe it airs on Friday nights around 9 o'clock or so. But of course, who watches TV live anymore these days? So that's episode 2 of Vagrant Queen. Once again, not highbrow sci-fi, but, passable diversion as we are locked in our homes and can't do anything. So this is Scarpad with Scarpad's Comic Tracks. Hope you like my impressions of episode 2 of Vagrant Queen. You all stay safe. Remember, keep reading, keep on tracking.